Yellow, and welcome to Bees Between the Gather Green, the little of this, little of that segment, too. So today I want to talk to you guys really quick about some really fun thrift finds that I've had the last couple of weeks. Took a couple of weeks off, and I've kind of gone through the week, and then now just today finishing my run of my usual spots. And I wanted to kind of give you guys a rundown of what I got in that time. So I'm calling this episode Pots and Pots and Pots and Pots and Pots. I found a lot of really good cheap pots, especially as I'm going to do some propagating and some other things coming up. I needed some, and I don't always want to go buy brand new ones if I can help it. So I'm going to show you some stuff that I found for that. I'm going to also show you some other fun stuff that I've gotten a few other stores that isn't pots related. So we'll start off with the not pots related stuff first. So you can tell this sweet shirt, Wolfpack, love it. Found this at my good buddy Pat's shop, Gnarly Hustle. Always a good place to check out. And if you can tell behind me, for most of you that know me, I'm a big blues guy, and my dad was too. And one of our favorites was Buddy Guy. And I found this at a really cool thrift shop in Raytown. And I just happened by it. I didn't even know it was there. But they have a few different ones, and it's called Rewind. I think it's kind of a estate sale and thrift store. But I found this, and even the owner was like, "Oh man, I guess I'll part with that." But super cool guy, really cool place. I highly suggest to go check it out. I think they have a few different locations, but this one was in Raytown. And then obviously, good old Gnarly Hustle is in Raytown as well. But as far as pots and plants, I found a lot of this stuff at two different locations, Savers locations and Blessings Abound. And you know that's one of my favorite places too. So let's get right into it. One of the things that I found actually a while ago, and it was going to be in the episode at Gnarly Hustle, but we never got into it and used it. It's this really cool flower pot, but it has a hole at the bottom, and it looks like somebody made it. And this would be an awesome plant holder. Like, I think you could put a plant directly in it. I mean, you could put a potted plant into it as well if you didn't want to get everything in there. But I think this would be an awesome way to recycle something and just look awesome with some plants in it, some flowers maybe too. A couple other really good ones I found were just your good kind of hard pots. Again, this was at Blessings Abound. So I found this one and two others that you could do indoors or out. And just, I mean, really good finds. And again, cheap. I found these three just on the back shelf randomly, right? And super cheap. They're really easy to get, got in and got out. I got these guys probably for $10, which was awesome. But what I also found too was some cool glass, and I really like glass. I've seen online that people are using this as kind of saucers for the bottom of plants, and this looks like it was an ashtray of some sort or something, but you turn it upside down, you put a plant on it, and it can be an awesome saucer for a plant. And kind of keeping with that glass theme as well, I found these little dishes, and they're probably used, something for kitchen or in the food, but you can put those tiny little plants, that you get, at a hardware store or like a Westlake or, your local store that may have some little plants. This is a good way to kind of like dry them out a little bit. But if they're really, truly tiny plants, you could also use these as saucers too, and just keep them until they grow too big and then move on. But at least you're recycling something again. So I'm kind of getting into this glass idea as well. Just another way to recycle something, honestly, right? And then another find that I really like, and my mom got me onto this, is rocks. So I really like, and if you guys have seen the previous episodes, my mom really likes rocks, not only in with the plant, but around it, at the bottom of it, sometimes to help with drainage, depending on what plant you have. I think it looks really cool too, like if you have a really big dish or a saucer, putting it on the outside of it, I think that looks really cool. And this was cheap. This was like $2, and it was all the way up to the top, but I've used some of it since. So another really cool, just you wouldn't think of kind of find, and it really adds to the aesthetic of the plant that you have. And just here's a couple other little saucers, and they were random. You know, you just walk around, and sometimes they're attached to them, sometimes they're not. But again, found these guys, and $1 a piece. And it can match and go with stuff I already have, or stuff I get down the line. But you just find this walking through and randomly going down an aisle. Just little stuff like this is fun just to go and walk through. You never know what you're gonna need later on. So why not try and find some stuff when you're just walking around different aisles? All right, and my non-pot plant related, look at this guy. Isn't he cute? I mean, just sipping a little bit. Little stuff like this, I'm looking for pots and stuff like that, but I just happen to find this little bad boy and think that's got to be mine. I love it. Again, this is another Blessings Abound. This is $2. I mean, come on, can't get any better than that. But a couple of things I asked when I was at these thrift stores too, when they were talking to me, because now we're buddies. They mentioned a lot of people come on the weekends, which is great because of work. But don't think that the weekend is the only good time to find things. They say there's really no one specific day they switch things out. They get a lot of stuff throughout the week. And I think for me, again, just me, to wind down, I think it is kind of fun just after work, just to walk through and find what they have during the week. It's not as crowded, and they still get a lot of new stuff, and they might even have some deals. I know Blessings Abound has a lot of deals all the time. Matter of fact, they had deals today. So when I talked to one of the ladies there, she said, try to visit it a little bit more during the week to maybe find some stuff that's gone before the weekend. And like she said, a lot of thrift stores, not all of them, but a lot of them, they get stuff in different times, random times. So don't think you have to go on a weekend to find good things. You can always check out your local thrift stores for something cool and make it a fun during the week, kind of break it up, and maybe save the weekend for something fun or some very specific. But I do highly suggest going during the week because you will find specials still, and weekends you'll find specials as well. But I wanted to give you guys a look into some of the pots that I look into and that I'm trying to find. And like I said, watch out. I think glass, is going to be kind of a big deal for some of the pots, on the bottom of the saucers for it. I think those are going to be pretty cool. But again, I have another episode getting ready to drop soon. So I wanted to say hello to everybody, rock the wolf pack, and show you some pots. Like I said, be on the lookout for a new episode of Bees Between the Gathered Green very soon. And you might even see my mom again. Like I said, I know everybody likes my mom more than me. I get it. She's pretty cool. But look for that episode to drop very soon. Have a great time out there potting and thrifting and just having a good time, find stuff to recycle. Be good to everybody. Be good to yourselves. Take care, and we'll see you next time.